Welcome back to another episode of A Shot of Weeb. This is episode 25. I am one of your hosts, the Seaweed Ambassador, and as always, I'm joined by the Epic Wop.
The Epic Wop, that's me.
That is you. Yep. Oh boy.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing from the in-between.
Oh, man. Yeah. Just laughing by harassing me.
That's
all
not what that was.
We sure about that one, Chief?
So this week was my pick
Yes,
of
it was.
show. And it's been a hot minute since I chose it. Why did I choose it? We had just watched Prince of Stride, which was my first proper sports anime, because I think you said Keijo doesn't count, even though I think Keijo counts.
Keijo's a weird mixture of genres. Like, it has elements of sports anime, but it's also like a very ecchi and a very like shonen action thing,
Which makes it very accessible for someone like me.
I mean,
but we just watched Prince of Stride, and spoilers for last episode, I guess. I absolutely loved it. I was like, you know what? Maybe. What does that look for?
yeah, maybe it's like I know what good is, you know, since that was my choice. You know?
Look, man, when you said you were doing a running show, I'm like, geez, I'm going to get tired looking at this.
We'll do Run with the Wind at some point.
But I decided to follow that up with another sports show that I had been putting off for ages, because I knew we'd have some extra time in between. We could do a longer show. We covered a 25 episode, 26, depending on how you counted, episode show this time.
Yeah.
I've been telling a friend of mine that I would watch Kuroko no Basket for like 6 years now. Mm-hmm. So I figured now might be the time to finally dip into it.
Yeah. Well, you still got 2 seasons left.
I still got 2 seasons left, and I will talk about that later.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Now, I have already watched this before. As I'm sure
I need
you
to grab
know.
my notes, keep them busy.
Oh, what the heck? You went through a checklist before we started.
Yeah, and I remembered I broke my binder. Hold on. I got it.
Oh boy. All right. Well, yeah, so I've already seen all of Kuroko no Basket. I watched it immediately after watching Haikyuu, which is my favorite sports anime. One of my favorite anime in general.
Just need the papers.
And but I wanted more sports, so I immediately went into Kuroko no Basket and watched all 75 episodes in like a week or two, I think. So it's fun going back to it because it's been a few years. It's been probably like 5 years now since I've seen it. So it's nice to go back, you know.
So I'm going to interject because we forgot something important that I can only half participate in.
Yes. Yeah.
This is a shot of Weeb, the show where we drink and talk about anime. So we need to do the drink part out of the way. What do you have this time? I feel like we haven't talked about our options lately because we've been having the same thing for like a month. Yeah,
so I have a couple things tonight. So I've got a mixed drink, which is this right here, and that's just got some gold rum and some cheer wine, just a little mixture there. So basically, rum and Coke, but with a better alternative to Coke. But then for my shots, I'm taking Deep Eddies. I believe it's a vodka.
I've never heard of it.
This is the grapefruit one, and it's fantastic. The cranberry one is also really good. Like, very good stuff. And it's like $25 for a massive bottle. I think the bottle is like the same size as this. Not to show any brand names here.
Yeah, we're not sponsored.
He's about the same size as that. So it's a pretty, it's a good size bottle for the price. I would highly recommend it.
Gotcha.
But don't quote me on it being vodka. I don't remember exactly what type of alcohol it is. I just know it tastes good.
See, I on the other hand am doing vodka this week, but I'm shaking it up. Not by choice. My driver's license expired, and I didn't find out until after the fact, and I'm waiting on a new one to come in the mail, so I couldn't buy anything new, which means I'm having to finish off what I had left over, which is not much.
Yeah, you don't have a ton left.
So to make it last, I am spreading out the last of this vodka I have with Sprite and hoping that it's enough to get through the episode.
I mean, I guess we'll find out.
Who knows? Maybe I'll be pretty chill this week. That might help your sanity a little bit.
If it's anything like what happened in pre-recording, oh boy.
I had nothing to drink at that point.
Oh no. Oh no, this is going to be an episode. But okay, well, after hearing that news, I need a drink. So,
come by.
Oh man. It's just like drinking grapefruit juice. It's like spicy grapefruit juice.
That is not strong enough. Which means the second mix is going to be even weaker because I bought 2 bottles a couple of months ago because we were about to hit the depths of winter and I didn't want to be walking out every week to buy stuff.
Yeah.
And I had just reached the very end of both bottles. And so I used the last of one bottle in this one. And then for the second half, I'm going to be doing the last of the other bottle, which was less than what I put in this one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is going to be a week.
Yeah, whereas I'm going hard.
You know what? I'm prepared. I'm prepared to have to corral you like I did in frickin' Asobi Asobase. Look, man, you're not supposed to crack up just remembering it.
This is a little creature. Oh man.
What have I done?
What'd you say about me?
I said, what have I done?
Yeah, you've spawned the little creature again. He
well,
triples
the little
attack
creature is
power
not in
of
this show.
everything he's on. Imagine if he was though. Okay, let's do an AU here. Little creature's in Kuroko no Basket. And he'll move from one of the generation of people from one to the other, just depending on how he's feeling, and then their power triples, because that's what little creature does. He triples the power of everything.
What happens if you triple Kuroko? Does he just literally turn invisible?
Yeah, he's just nothing. He just doesn't exist anymore. But before we get into the episode proper, we do want to say drink responsibly. We know what we're doing. We know our limits. We're just having fun here. And if you're not 21, don't drink.
Ooh, that's a new addition, but that's a good addition.
Whatever your legal drinking age is, I should say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have had in the past at least one German viewer. I don't think 21 would apply to them.
No, whatever your legal drinking age is, But just be safe while you're drinking.
Isn't Germany crazy low?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm not German.
Yeah, neither am I.
I have a German name.
Luke?
My last name, and I am not saying it on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not going to say your last name on the podcast. I can censor that out if you want me to.
How many times have I accidentally called you John?
Yeah, it's true. That's true. It's not like they're very common names. Very.
Especially if you're from the Bible Belt.
Yeah. But, so we watched Kuroko. Do you have anything you want to say before we get into talking about the show?
Yeah, so when I said that I had told a friend that I would we're kicking it off strong this week.
Dude, you haven't had anything to drink yet, buddy.
I've not. That just happens. My guy.
All right.
What was I saying? The reason I said I was going to watch it, literally years ago, was because back when I lived in the place I grew up in before I moved out, one of my friends came over regularly for, a D&D group or whatever. And one night, he stuck around later than the others, and we were just goofing off. And we had a Netflix at the time. I think it was on Netflix. Or maybe he had pulled up Crunchyroll. I don't remember.
It was on Netflix for a bit.
I think this was during the stretch it was on Netflix then. And he pulled up Kuroko no Basket because he likes anime, but he's only seen a handful. Out of the now 24 shows we've done on this podcast, I think this is the only one he's seen.
Yeah.
And he showed me the first episode of Kuroko because he was like, "This is one that I really, really enjoy." And I'm like, "That was good. I'll get around to watching it eventually." Cut to 6 years later.
Oh, I guess you did.
Still hadn't done it. Yeah. I did do it eventually.
Well, not quite. You still got 50 episodes left.
Yeah, that's a fact. Well, actually, so what I'm told is this is the cutoff point, that apparently season 1 can stand on its own, but if you go into 2, you have to watch 3 with it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh.
But even season 1, like, it's still... There's still so many questions.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not really like a... I think season 1 was initially made as not a test per se, right? But, like, because Production IG, who did... That's the studio that did Kuroko. They also did Haikyuu. And the end of Haikyuu season 1 has like a
Kuroko
similar...
and Haikyuu are the same people.
Same studio.
Same. Okay. Well, okay. What's the difference there? Please remind me, because I get this mixed up every time.
But the difference between what?
The difference between like same studio and same like creative people.
Oh well, it could be. It could be different people. The studio is just like the...
Who distributes it?
They don't distribute it. That's a distributor. No. The studio, they can
I'm
be
a broadcast major. I should know this.
Okay, but so, like, take for instance, like, the Studio Trigger, right?
Okay.
So you've got like Kill la Kill, which was Imaishi, right? But then you've got like Little Witch Academia, which I don't believe was made by Imaishi. So like that's two different like big heads, but like with the size of Trigger, it's gonna be a lot of the same people. But like with Production IG is a massive studio, but it's just like a place that like... I'm trying to think of the best... Okay, this is a good way to describe it. So you know how like there's Shonen Jump?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And each manga has like its own author, right?
Okay.
And each of those manga also has like editors and assistants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
they're kind of just like different teams under the same big banner.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm not. I don't know if this was done by the same people who did Haikyuu. I just know the studio is the same. So like the executives are going to be the same people.
Oh, okay.
Because these are not that far apart. But I think they kind of did a similar thing with Haikyuu, where like at the end of season 1, it's like kind of a like, if it's not finite ending, but it's like kind of like an ending that feels nice, where like it can have more, but also like it doesn't have to. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about that, but it's a bit early.
No, let's get into it. Whatever, dude.
Okay.
Spoilers for Kuroko.
Spoilers for Kuroko, yeah. I think it was very interesting that they give us this big inter-high tournament that our team doesn't win. I've not seen something like that before. Like when you go into a tournament arc...
Okay. Continue. Sorry. Continue.
Well, I didn't even hear what you said, but...
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's because when you go into a tournament arc of anything, because like My Hero Academia has a freaking tournament arc, stuff like that, you kind of know that the main team's going to end up at the end, even if they try to fake you out, because Keijo tried to fake you out, and they're like, nope, they were disqualified, you're good. They didn't do that. We just lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's a change of pace. I did not expect that.
Welcome to sports anime, baby.
Okay. I don't like sports. Sports is dumb.
Yeah, says the guy who loves Prince of Stride. Yeah, no, I don't know. So, yeah, losing is, I think, just as, if not more important to a sports anime than winning, because that's how characters grow more, more drastically, right? Even in... So we're going to talk about the final match here a little bit, which is not between... Which has nothing to do with our main team.
Yeah, our team's benched at this point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, they're in the stands watching. But it's Toho and... Is it Kaito? Is that the other team?
Keiji?
Keiji, maybe. Or Kaiji. Something like that.
It's something that I kept getting confused with Kaijo.
Anyways, it's Kisei's team and Aomine's team.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing each other. And Kisei is the copycat guy, and Aomine is the street baller.
Okay. I'm actually, if I may, I'm going to do like a tiny bit of setup before
Okay,
we go.
Go for your setup. Go for your setup. Yeah.
This is literally in the intro of every episode. So, like, the preface of this show was that there was a middle school team called the Generation of Miracles. There were 5 of them, and they're all color-coded.
Yeah.
There were 5 of them that each had, like, a specific ability/power thing. It's literally just an aspect that they're insanely good at, or, like, a style of play.
Yeah.
But there was a rumor that there was a 6th player that no one knew about.
Yeah, a Phantom
the show,
man.
quote unquote, follows the Phantom 6 man, whose ability is literally don't be noticed and pass the ball.
Yeah.
And he's working together with obviously his team, but primarily Kagami, who's he's big.
Yeah, he went to America for middle school to play ball.
And he jumped good.
Yeah, he jumped high. Yeah, so that's like that's the general premise. And like the English
Kisei and
title,
Amine are both part of that generation, or part of that 5 people.
Yeah. And the title of the show, Kuroko no Basket, I think it's translated in English as Kuroko's Basketball. But in the episodes, at the beginning of every episode on the title card, it says the basketball that Kuroko plays.
Which is such a weird phrasing because, the direct translation would be Kuroko's Basketball.
Yeah. But I do like that phrasing, not as the title of the show. I like it that it's there, right? Because I do like Kuroko's Basketball better. I like that because that's what the show is about. Because I don't know, the implication that it's the basketball that somebody plays rather than somebody else's basketball is interesting, especially when it comes to Kuroko, because his style is not to play for himself like most of the other, or like the rest of the other generation is.
Yeah, because he can't do much with the ball. His ability works off of misdirection.
Other people, yeah.
Yeah, and he needs other people because the ability works off of misdirection, but everybody is always watching the ball. So if he's holding the ball, there's no misdirecting that. Everyone's looking at you.
Mm-hmm. But so then we've got Kisei, he can copy anything that he sees, and Aomine, who is just insane. He's the ace, and he just goes hard.
He has weird moves because he plays in an unorthodox way that he learned on the streets.
Which is he's just playing street ball instead of court ball, which are different. They are different things. You play them differently. Yeah.
I barely knew the rules, but thankfully this show is actually nice enough to help you more or less understand what's going on, even if you don't have the best grasp of the system behind it.
I find most sports anime do that.
Well, I mean, you kind of need to for like accessibility, but it can still be like handled well or handled poorly.
Right. Yeah. No, of course.
I'll admit I was still a little confused on the scoring system because I thought dunks were like 1 point. I thought it was like a 1, a 2, and a 3 range, but no, there's only like 2.
The only time you can get 1 point is from free throws. Each of those are worth 1 point.
Okay, so maybe that's what I was thinking. I don't know. I never did basketball. I did basketball when I was required to in like gym class, and people picked me because I was tall, and that was it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't trying to sound like what the hell? Like, how do you not know this shit? I'm just not used to people not knowing the rules for like the big games. You know what I mean?
The only like major sport that I know the rules like in and out of is baseball. It's because I played it.
Yeah, see, I played baseball, soccer, basketball, and football. And yes, it is soccer for all those out there. It's soccer.
Be careful, dude. Your Americanism is showing.
I played the good football, which is not European. Anyways, so like I know those are. I feel like those are like the 4 big sports in America. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I know the rules to all of them, at least, like, well enough to play them. Not, like, all the intricacies and stuff, but...
Yeah, no, I couldn't tell you the basics of football or soccer.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's something where we, differ.
But I did know a vague amount about basketball, and I could actually follow something baseball-based.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, say they do a pretty a pretty nice job for explaining the rules and stuff, but this show has its it has a reputation, I guess, for being basketball with superpowers.
That's kind of what I thought going into it. It is a little less like that than I expected, but that is the vibe.
A little less or more?
It is less superpowery than I thought, but it definitely is that in a way.
Yeah, the first season is much more realistic. I think it's in the later season when it starts to get a little ridiculous.
And it goes off the rails later.
Yeah, but it's still fun, and like that's the thing, right? Like, I love Haikyuu, and I love how, like, relatively how accurate it is to how the sport is played and stuff. Like, nobody has these superpowers. Like, yeah, Kageyama can, set it exactly where he needs to or whatever, but like, I mean, when you've trained enough, like, you can do that, like that comes with practice and repetition, and we see that he's trained a lot and he's a prodigy as well. So like I don't mind these like shows that use superpowers or whatever, as long as it makes it interesting, which this show does. I think it does that very well, and I think that's best exemplified in the final game of the season against Kisei and Aomine, because Kisei just can't keep up with Aomine. I mean, Aomine was the ace for their team back in middle school, which means that he was like the best. He could score the most points, and like if you got him the ball, he would score. That's like what the ace is generally in every sport.
Yeah, but also their team had an issue in the past, and this comes up, is that like everybody of that group entirely and exclusively relied on themselves. So they're not good team players. They're good at what they do, but they don't play well with people.
Right, exactly. Everybody except for Kuroko. That's what Kuroko wanted. That's his basketball.
Well, yeah, because he literally can't play by himself.
Right, exactly. But so in their game, we see like Aomine's making these ridiculous shots, like with some of the stuff we've seen before, where he's like parallel to the ground and makes the shot. That he does like all these really fancy trick moves and stuff.
He does some behind the back shots. He shoots from behind the hoop once.
Yeah, exactly. Like he just does all this crazy stuff. And then Kisei but then they have another guy on their team who's like a really quick shooter. You just hand him the ball, he'll immediately just shoot it. And Kisei starts to copy him and like other members of the team. But then that's not enough, because obviously it's not.
Yeah. So, I would say that Kisei is probably the most superpowery of the whole group we see in season 1, except maybe Kuroko. Because like literally his is he watches someone play and then he can just do it.
Yeah, but Midorima's is just, I can shoot the ball and make it from anywhere.
He's a good math man. He's got the arcs down. I wouldn't call that superpower.
I would say that's just as superpower as Kisei, because Kisei is just a fast learner.
Can we both agree that Kuroko is at top, though? The fact that literally, like, even not in-game people just forget he exists.
Yeah, no, he's just got that kind of personality. Yeah, but then so when Kisei has to start copying Aomine, it gets pretty ridiculous, like, because he's pulling off the exact same move. So like, yeah, that's definitely like more superpowery.
I feel like
it's not really a word, but
I'm surprised you jive with Kisei's power, because I remember you absolutely hated when Keijo did the same thing.
When who did the same thing?
Keijo, I don't remember her name, but the one with the long ponytail. Her ability was literally just to use other people's techniques, and you're like, this is dumb.
Do you know why I like Kisei's, though? You want to know why I do like Kisei?
What are you going to say about that one?
Because he doesn't only rely on that, which again we see in this final thing, where instead of shooting the ball like he should have for the last shot, he tried to pass it to a teammate, thereby no longer copying Aomine.
Yeah, and trying to add his own thing, which comes back and bites him in the butt, because it's just like, you tried to pass, that was obvious.
Yeah, he's like, that's the one thing I would never do. But he doesn't fully rely on that. He's also it's still his own like play, because he can't he can't copy everything either. He can only copy things that he can do physically. That's the way Kuroko put it, at least, is he can only copy what he can do. But basically it just means he's a fast learner, so he can't copy anything Kuroko does, because like there's no real way to copy like personality.
You can't copy what you can't see.
Right, exactly.
Is I think what they said. Because you don't really see Kuroko do his thing per se.
Well, but even if he was able to, I don't think that Kisei, because he's a model, everybody loves him, is always like watching him and stuff, he can never get that like low amount of presence to be able to copy stuff that Kuroko does. But he doesn't solely rely on copying moves, which is why I like Kisei's ability. It's not my favorite one out of everybody's, but it doesn't feel like a cheap gimmick, if that makes sense. If that makes sense, yeah.
Was that all we were going to talk about the final game? I'll be honest, I'm not really sure why we went final game first. I kind of got lost there.
I think I got through my point. It was more like, I don't remember the wording I used. Yeah, we'll just go back. We'll just rewind the clock there a little bit.
Yeah, so we went super out of order because, yes.
Yep, that's why.
It starts off with a high school. Kuroko and Kagami join basketball team. We meet the old team. There's only second years. There's no third years because the school was just formed and it's savored school.
Yeah.
We get to practice. We meet all the old teammates, which there's cool. There's a coach. There's a dude who has a cat face. Yeah, it's just people.
That's Koganai.
I don't remember the teammates' names. I remember the elites. I remember Kagami. I remember Kuroko. I do not remember the rest, except for no, I've got this because he was my favorite. He's the one that just doesn't talk.
All right, I'll let you figure it out.
I put myself in a crunch. I can't remember it now. But
yeah, I don't even see him on the character list.
Yeah, wait, why isn't he here?
Probably because he doesn't have a voice actor.
That would make sense. He literally doesn't make sound.
Yeah, he doesn't talk.
Isn't it Mitobe?
Mitobe?
Mitobe? I think so.
Maybe it's something like that. That sounds...
I don't know.
Familiar.
And then we also meet the coach, whose name is like Ida or something, but everyone just calls her Coach. And she's great. Except for when she's not, but usually she is.
I mean, isn't that true of most things?
I mean, shut up. But no, she's like she's good at leading, but then she also has like she does some very problematic things at points. Like the very end of the show, they go on like a training camp, and she's like, "I'm gonna cook for everybody," and it's terrible. And they were like, "Why don't one of you guys try cooking?" Kagami does it, and it's really good. And so they're like, "Hey, Kagami, show her how to cook." And so he guides her, and it comes out awful, even though he literally did like almost all of it. But then Kuroko isn't given a plate because they forgot he was there. So he gets his own plate, and he's like, "This is really good," while everyone else is suffering. So they figure out, wait, maybe it's just when she's putting it on the plate. And I'm like, oh, they're doing that anime thing, you know, like where something's bad just because a specific person did it. No, she was sneaking protein and vitamin powder onto the food when she plated it. And that's why it was awful.
I don't see how this is problematic.
She's trouble, okay?
She's supportive.
But her like interaction with the teams throughout like the whole thing is just great.
Mm-hmm.
Like she makes it clear that she is the leader, she is the boss, and it comes off good. It works. I like it.
Yep.
What was I talking about? Take over, please.
And if they don't complete their goals, they have to confess their love naked at the top of the school building.
Mm-hmm. Because they already shouted off the school building once, except Kuroko because he got cut off.
Yeah.
No one would have remembered anyway, even if he did.
Yeah, but yeah, we never get to know exactly what he said. I don't think. Or no, yeah, we do.
Because he didn't end up saying it.
Yeah, we do. Yep. Yeah. He writes it on the field.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kagami's the only person that realizes it's him because he sees the dirt on his sleeve.
Yeah. Yeah, so everybody does their thing, and then, but if they don't complete their goal by the end of the year, they have to confess their love in front of the whole school naked.
That whole rooftop scene stressed me out because, like, even if I joined the team and was like, yes, I'm going to be a good basketball man, I wouldn't be able to shout from the roof, man. I'd freeze up. I can't do that.
So you think you can play in front of a stadium with...
Well, yeah, because I wouldn't have to talk to them.
I don't know. It's about the same, I think.
I don't feel it's the same. Look, I get jittery when I have to talk to, like, a cashier at a place, but I was able to recite poetry in a packed theater. Like, it's not the same.
I mean, I played sports. I know it's not exactly the same, but if that's the only way to play the sport, that you really want to play, well, guess you do it.
I don't know, man. So they start off with a practice game. Their first game is a practice game against Kaiju, whatever it was, Kisei's team.
Yes.
And they give them half a court to do it because they're like, there's just practice. Nothing interesting's going to happen because Kisei's just going to crush them. But then they start, like, actually fighting back, and Kagami does a dunk that, like, breaks the hoop. So they're like, hey, can we get the full court? And they're like, fine.
Yeah.
And this is where we meet the first of the Generation of Miracles, other than Kuroko, obviously. Mm-hmm. And we get the line, Kuroko's thing is that he's the shadow and will do his best when there's a bright light for him to follow. So he, like, freaking soul binds himself to Kagami. Yeah. Basically. Mm-hmm. And they use their teamwork, and they're able to barely beat Kisei. I think it looks like 198.
Also, so the coach for Kaijo also said at the beginning, hey, the reason they only got like a half of the court, not even, is because the coach is like, yeah, you're not going to do us like enough good to like be worth stopping everybody from practicing. So just try not to let us triple your score. And that pissed everybody off. It even the thing I really liked though, right? Which is like, I mean, I like most of the characters in the show, but the thing about Kisei is even he was like, why did you say that to them? Like he doesn't, because he knows how good Kuroko is, or like what Kuroko can do, but also he doesn't want to be disrespectful. Sorry. Just to say, like, he doesn't want to like disrespect another team, I don't think.
Yeah, and especially because, like, out of all of the Miracle Generation, I think Kisei is the one who respects what Kuroko does the most.
Yes.
Of the ones we've seen. Because, spoilers, I guess, again. Out of the 5 non-Kuroko members, we only see 3 of them in action by the end of Season 1.
Yeah, we only see 3 of them play. We see
2 of them have been shown, but we don't know anything about them.
Yeah, except that Murasaki Bara loves snacks.
He seems like an absolute gremlin of a man, and I look forward to his part of the show.
Yeah, we don't really get to see anything from them at all. Which is really interesting too, Like, it's something I wanted to bring up. Because normally, when you think of, like, who's the best player on the team, you know, it's like, oh, it's the ace. That's why he is named the ace. But we've already seen the ace. We have met the ace multiple times now. And, like, how the show's been going, there's been a progression from, like, the, like, worst, you know, quote unquote, of the Generation Miracles to the best. Which I think
because Kisei was the newest member.
Yeah. Kisei is the weakest. Well, he's not the newest member necessarily, I don't think.
So,
or is he in
the OVA?
Thing? Okay, gotcha. Okay,
that.
I didn't remember what year he joined.
So, quick context: there was an OVA that fits after episode 22. I watched it. Seaweed didn't.
Yes.
So we're not going to be talking about that.
No. Okay. Well, the yeah. So he's like the weakest and everything, and then Midorima seems like he's like the next, you know, there, and then but then we get Aomine, who's the ace, which is like, so what do these other two do, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
we get vibes that one of them is like the leader of the group.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure we have literally no idea what Purple Man does. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. It's like 6 syllables. That's a lot.
Murasakibara.
Murisakibara?
Murasakibara.
I'll remember that later.
No, you won't. I mean, I know what he does, kind of. I know his position. I know his position, which should be fairly apparent if you know anything about basketball.
I mean, I'm going to assume he's going to have some sort of defense ability, given that he's like 6'7" or whatever.
Well, he's a center.
I don't know what a center is.
You know Shaq?
From the commercials, yes.
Yeah, Shaq was a center.
That doesn't help me.
You know how big Shaq is?
Yes.
Yeah, they're good at defense. That's what a center does. He keeps
the big man is a
safe.
defense power. Got it. There we go.
Yeah, but like you'll see. Yeah, but there's Murasakibara and Akashi. Those are the last two. But we don't know anything. We don't see Akashi ever. It's only like a few times in flashbacks that you ever
I think he shows up like briefly in the outro.
I don't think he did.
I thought he had a shot in one of the EDs, plus he shows up. I know I said we're not going to talk about it, but he shows up in the OVA as well.
Well, yeah, in the OVA, yeah. But well, like, I mean, showing up in the ED is not showing up in the show.
I know. He doesn't have any, like, actual role in the show yet.
Yeah. But then there is actually another part to the Generation Miracles. There's one more member besides Kuroko.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were supposed to count her or not.
Oh, yeah. Satsuki Momoi. She is 100% in that group. Because, so she's an assistant, you know, but she's not a normal assistant. She's different. She's not like the other girls.
She has data powers and big titty.
Yeah, no, so she can analyze people, and she's able to predict how they'll progress and how fast they'll progress. Fairly accurate.
Yeah, no, and honestly, that's spooky. That's my favorite kind of ability. Like, I think I geeked out about this during Kill la Kill. I absolutely love Data Man. Like, that was such a cool idea.
I mean, it's literally just sports, like, analytics and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, it's like, it's not something that, it's not where it's like people don't do this, you know? And, like, it's something that people can do. And she's not always right. Which is, oh man, that's another point for realism in this show.
Yeah, because I think Kuroko is able to break out of what she expects because
she can't. No, she isn't able to. She can't do anything. She doesn't know how to judge Kuroko.
Yeah,
she has no idea.
Was the sequence with Momoi the bit where Kuroko punches the ball, or was that a different fight? Was that against Midorimiya? Jeez.
That was against Midorimiya because Midoriya had just taken a shot. Kuroko told him to run, or told Kagami to keep running, and then because Midoriya was trying to just chill back there, acting all smug. Mm-hmm. So then they got the shot back immediately with a dunk.
Yeah, because like usually Kuroko like redirects the ball, but he's like, they're gonna know if I redirect it this time, so we'll crack out a new one, and instead of redirecting, just speed it up, and he literally punches the ball at Kagami.
Yeah,
and it's great.
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. Yeah.
I actually have that written down. It was called like Punch Drive or whatever.
I don't remember
what was
exactly
it? It was something
name.
Drive.
But Momoi is she's the manager for Aomine's team, and the reason that she's for Aomine's team because she wanted to go to Kuroko's school because she's in love with Kuroko because Kuroko bought her a popsicle.
Didn't even buy her a popsicle. He gave her the winning popsicle stick from a popsicle he'd already eaten.
Yeah.
What does a winning stick even get you?
Another popsicle.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he effectively bought her a popsicle.
Okay, I assumed it was something bigger than that, the way they were talking about.
No, it's just like... Okay, have you seen that... This is an old one. But it's like an old text post meme. Where it was about girls in harem anime. And, okay. Girl, can you pass me the salt? Guy.
Oh, you've told me
this. Yeah, sure, here it is. Girl. Oh my god. Oh. They just calm themselves. Oh. They're immediately in love. Immediately. Well, that's what happened here. When he gave her the popsicle stick.
We skipped something important, by the way. Like, that I forgot to mention is...
everything.
We've been skipping so much.
We've not gone in order.
We skipped Dad's basketball game, but no,
Is this against Momoi? Is this about
Momoi? Is like 3 games later.
I'm asking if what you're about to say is about her.
No.
Okay, well, let me finish up my bit on her.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about right now is her. We were going through all the different members. But she's in love with Kuroko, so instead of going to... But she didn't go to Kuroko's school because she didn't know what would happen if she wasn't there with Aomine to watch over him. Which is pretty dark.
Because he is a trouble man.
Yeah. Because all he wants in life is, like, somebody to challenge him. Somebody to be better than him, basically. But he's not going to pull any punches to get there. But also, he's so good that at this point, he thinks the only one who can beat him is himself. And so he's got, honestly, I don't know what he would do.
So that's what made the final, since we've already talked about the final game, that's what made it so cool, was because he had repeatedly throughout the rest of the season said the only one who can beat me is me. So Kisei was like, all right, I'll use you to beat you.
Yeah. He's like, all right, well, what if I'm the me? I think is the
And I was
line.
just like, yo, they did it.
Yep. It was great.
It didn't work, but they did it.
Yeah, but they might not have won that game, but you can tell that Kuroko's basketball is starting to make some waves.
Yeah, because Kisei's starting to do some team play.
Not only that, but Kuroko said the only time, because he said before in the show, where he was like, I've never thought about, he was like, I've thought about winning, but I've never thought about if we could win. And, that was the same time when he gave all the ridiculous stuff. He was like, yeah, I mean, they could be beating us by 50, but then an asteroid could come and just hit their bench and we would win by default.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But then we hear him in that game, because it's against Midoriya. He says, the only time when it's impossible to win is if all of the players give up on the game, and I refuse to let that go to 0%, so I will always believe we can win the game. And it's great. And then you see that with Kisei, because Kisei's like, at the end of the game against Aomine, he says, I don't care if we lose, but I'm not going to stop trying to win, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's such a good line. But, what were you going to say before?
So yeah, to sort of catch us up to so there's the Kisei match, And then we see one game, we meet, I think this is when they like first get together with Kisei. Kisei, Kuroko, and Kagami are just like out and about. And there's some thugs that are like bullying the people playing basketball. Yeah. And they were like, you don't bully the man, play the court fairly. Why don't you fight us? And then Kisei, Kagami, and Kuroko just like absolutely stomp this like 6-man thug team, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We get the first match of the Inner High, and the thing they have for this one is they have a foreign exchange student who's from Senegal, and his thing is literally just that he is a very tall, massive person. And this is still early in the series, so like everyone's still like growing a bunch or whatever.
Yeah.
But they do shenanigans, they get around it, they win the game. And then another thing that I wasn't expecting, they just breeze over like 3 games because they're not important. There's nobody that matters in them.
Uh-huh.
They do like this little montage of, and then Seirin win the next 3 games with this, this, and this. But I really like the third one of those games, the team that comes in is the dudes from the basketball court, and the coach is just like, I don't know why, but they couldn't stay focused. We crushed them easily.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, no, yeah, that was great. Yeah. Yeah, no, see, that's another thing that's kind of common in sports anime, because you can't cover every game, you know? So there will be teams that don't really matter. Like, even, I think Haikyuu does it a lot better, I will say, but, like, it has, like, its smaller team, so we get, like, a little bit of backstory about, like, one player or something. Like, the most important player on the team. And, then we'll see, like, maybe it'll be, like, an episode-long game or something. And I prefer that method, where we get, like, a little bit of characterization versus, like, nothing, you know? But I understand why they needed to do it. For the story they're trying to tell here, it didn't matter. Because this is all about the Generation of Miracles, whereas Haikyuu is all about Karasuno, the main team. So it makes more sense to have at least a small focus on every game than just to skip over games to get somewhere else. Whereas in Kuroko, you don't really care about any game that doesn't have a generational miracle in it, you know?
We do actually get one of those games, though. We do
realize
one. Yeah, we get one after Kisei, but before Midori.
The one with the tall guy is as well.
Oh, okay, so there's 2, because there's the one with Dad. They start calling him that.
There's also Oto-san. His name's like Papa or something. Yeah. So they start calling him Dad. Yeah. And there's also a character on the main team that makes puns, and I really wish I understood them, but the puns don't work outside of the Japanese, and I'm not that fluent to catch on. Yeah, it's Izuki,
which is a shame because he's fun and Mitobe is really good. Actually, all of the like less important characters of the main team have like more simple stories, but I like them. Like, they're still fun. Yeah. Like the dude with the cat face is just an absolute dork.
Yeah, he's not good at he's okay at everything, but not great at anything. He's just a jack of all trades.
So, should we talk about the steak scene? I'm going to bring up the steak scene really fast. This is another one where the coach does something really stupid.
Yeah. After the steak scene, we'll go on break.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, well, I mean, this is pretty short. They do one of the games. I forget which game this was after. I mean, I could probably find it. But they finish one of the games, and they're like, how much money do we have for food after we figure our transportation costs? And they have like $1. But then a truck goes by with an advertisement for free steak, and the coach is like, we're going for it. Yep. And so she goes to the steakhouse with the whole team and has everybody do the steak challenge. It's this massive hunk of meat that if you finish it in this amount of time, it's free. It's the standard, like, challenge thing. Yeah. They can't pay for it if they lose.
No, it was like, I think it was like $100.
I think it was $100 a plate.
Each, yeah.
And so, like, she's counting on them, because if they whiff it, I don't know, do they get, like, arrested? Like, what happens there?
Probably they just have to work it off, or...
Probably. and then every single team member completely whiffs it, except for Kagami, who finishes off his and then goes back and clears the others' plates as well. Because we get that led up. There's a couple episodes where they go to Totally Not McDonald's, and he has like 17 hamburgers.
Yeah.
And it ends with them getting thrown out of the steak joint because they probably just put the guy out of business.
Yeah, probably. Yep, because they didn't have to pay it all. Which, that's the only thing, right? I want to know what the rules, like, for this is. 30 minutes for that size of steak. I feel like that should be a one-man job. I guess the rules were probably 2 people, maximum.
Yeah, they didn't really talk about the rules.
Didn't really like. It's fine. It's a gag. I just want to know why did this man let that happen? Like say I've got these rules. That's not how it works.
Who knows, man? All I know is Kagami can eat a lot of beef.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
I know you said we were going to go on break now, but I have one last sentence because we can pretty much skip over the other less important game. But I just want to briefly mention it. The gimmick with that one was that they used martial arts with their running. And so, they ran, arm and leg at the same side going forward instead of alternating like normal. And that somehow gave them superpowers or whatever. But, I don't know. They played through that game. There was one team member who was a dick. And then game's over. They move on to the next important thing, which is when Midorimiya comes in, and that's where we'll come back to next part.
Yeah, and we'll get to Midorima in the next half of this episode. So we'll be
after our mid break, where you may or may not hear a brief ad, depending on what platform you're listening on.
Very, very true. All right, we'll be back shortly.
We'll return. Welcome back to the second half of A Shot of Weeb, episode 25. We are coming back in with the second half. Stop pointing and let me intro. With the second half of, what show? Kuroko in a Basket.
Yep, that's the one.
Season 1. We left off right before Midori.
We were going to talk about Midorima next. We didn't leave off anywhere. That's just what we were going to talk about next.
Well, yeah, because we've done all the games before that, because that's really the best way to tackle the show is mostly just to talk about the games, because other than maybe the training camp, that's the best way to break it apart. But even the training camp is 2 episodes.
Yeah. Well, before we get really deep into it, we got 2 things. First we'll go take our shot or drink, what have you.
Take my hilariously weak mixed drink.
So come by it. Oh, man. That is good. All right.
I can almost tell that there's vodka in there.
Damn. And so I was doing a little bit of research though while we were on our break, looking into some of the voice actors. And the guy who does Kagami, his name is Yuki Ono. He was the voice of Josuke, or is the voice of Josuke, I should say. And then he said, which I think it's one of you like that character a lot, don't you?
I'm assuming you're meaning that Josuke?
Yeah, from JoJo's.
Yeah, I'm looking at his page now.
Don't look at his page yet.
Too late. He's right there. I found him.
Okay.
It was the same year he voiced Kagami.
Hold up, buddy. Okay, let me do my bit before you just go off.
Hold on.
Because he also voices another one of your favorite characters. Don't look at the page.
I'm looking at your camera, okay?
Yes.
Finish your bit.
One by the name of Kufa Vampire. You know what he's from?
Okay. Yeah, no, I remember that. That's why the sprite went down the wrong way.
Yeah, I know it's one of your favorite characters.
When was that? Was that 2013?
Yep. No, it's 2019. What?
Wait, that's that recent? Oh, wait, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I must have scrolled right past it then.
Yeah. Which is why I didn't want you to go to the page in the first place. I had a bit planning.
He also... Please, you got... They did voice... He voiced one of my actual favorites in that same year. He had a bit role in Pop Team Epic.
Yeah, but tell me who didn't.
Fair.
Like, the anime man had a bit role in Pop Team Epic.
It looks like he's been in a handful of other, like, really big shows that I've not
like
seen.
Conception.
He was in Isaacan.
Zoku Toku Ranben.
I've never even heard of that one. There's a show. He was in Yukoku no Moriarty, which is one I've been planning to watch.
Cheer Danshi.
What's he doing this season? Looks like Beastars is the only one that I know anything about.
Do-da-da-da. Oh, you don't know Card Fight Vanguard?
That's not... Oh. Yeah, no, I don't know that.
It's a card game anime.
Out of the 5 that he's in of this anime season, of this anime year, the only one that I know what it is Beastars.
I actually do know all of these shows.
But he's in... Oh, he's in Fire Force.
Yeah.
Fire Force, Moriarty, Food Wars, Isaacan, Kufa Vampire. That's amazing.
Yep. It all leads back to Assassin's Pride.
Oh, yo! He voiced the main character of Eunice Hot Springs.
Okay.
I know that one.
Yeah, you do know that one.
Sorry, I got excited because I know that one. Was apparently also in High School DxD. What do you say we talk about the actual show?
Oh, hold up. He's in High School DD?
Yeah, he was in Hero. Played some fella called Indra.
What year was that?
2018.
Okay.
I've not seen Hero, so I don't know this character.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, let's talk about the anime we're here to talk about, which is Kuroko's Basketball. The basketball which Kuroko plays.
Get back to the correct page. There we go. So Midorima was the next. Was the next game, and it turns out. So the punching the ball was Ignite Pass, and that apparently happens a lot later.
That happens in Midorima's game.
I have it down as episode 17, which is...
It also happens there. But But I know for a fact he does it against Midorima.
Maybe they just didn't give it a name until 17.
Maybe. But, like, I know for a fact that that's the game that happens in for the first time.
Yeah. Whereas Midorima's game, we get some, like, background on the... Not the coach, the captain, the friendly captain, on like how he learned to shoot under pressure. The coach jokingly told him to break his samurai figures whenever he messes a shot, so now he's perfect because he lost too many.
Yep. So whenever he's under pressure, he can always make the shot.
Mm-hmm. And Midorima's game is also the one where we start to see what Kagami's ability is, because apparently he has an ability, according to Midorima, that can rival the Miracles generation.
Yeah.
But he hasn't figured out how to use it yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's basically like he has this ability that he would have been one of the Miracle generation.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely. If he had been in Japan at the time. But instead he went to America.
Yeah, because he was still in America.
Yeah.
I suppose I may as well just go ahead and say it. His powers jump. He can jump good.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's the thread, is like he's consistently getting higher and higher and higher with his jumps. Like he'll get higher as the game goes on. But the first time he starts really doing it during the Midorima game, the Shutoku, I think, is the school.
Yep, that's the school.
He like actually starts to like really hurt himself, and he only has like 2 jumps left by the end of the game.
Yeah. Because it's a lot of strain on his body that he's not used to.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you're right. Hold on, he punches the ball here because I have a note on 13 instead of direction change, speed change. So that's when they punch the ball, because this Midorima's team also has another guy who like can actually stick to Kuroko, and this is set up before the match because Kuroko wanders into the bathroom with Kagami, and normally Kuroko can just kind of go anywhere. Mm-hmm. We skipped one of my favorite lines that demonstrates this, but he wanders like into the bathroom, and the other player is like, "Hey, what's up, blue-haired kid? You're on the other team, right?" And everyone's just like, "Wait, you can see him?"
Yeah. Because
can I go back?
He has Hawk's vision.
May I mention something unimportant, but I'd have to travel back, but it's also very important.
Okay.
There's an episode where it's apparently a tradition, as of last year when everything started, to have the first years go buy these like special sandwiches that are only available once per year, but they're supposed to bring like super, super good luck. This is the only other bit of Kuroko media that I had seen prior to getting into the show, and I'd forgotten about it. But that same friend that had got me interested in the show had linked this video to me, and I didn't know it was Kuroko's. He had linked me the clip of Kagami falling over, shouting, "This is Japanese lunchtime rush," before a clip of trains going by.
Oh, yeah.
It's so out of place.
It's fantastic, though. Like, it's not really, like, out of place. I wouldn't say out of place is the right way to put it.
You do know that I, like, absolutely love when there's just, like...
You like English.
Random semi-sensical English in there. Like, that... Why was that there? I don't know, but I love it.
Yeah. But it makes sense that Kagami's the one who said it and not anybody else.
Well, yeah, because he spent a year or two in America.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it is a really funny bit. Yeah. No, I definitely
it's a good clip. But anyway, against Midoriya, he's the green one. That's why I said they're color-coded. They all have, like, fancy colored hair, except kind of Amine, which is just, like, a bluish black. But everyone else has, like, a bright color. Like, Kuroko's this, like, baby blue. Midoriya's got, like, grass green, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, Kisei's blonde. Aomine's is dark blue. That's his color. Momoi's is pink. Kagami's is red. And then Murasaki Baro's is purple. And Akashi's is like a hot pink.
I'm glad you know what colors are.
Yeah, I took first grade.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done that, so I might not have remembered.
Yeah, maybe you should go back and learn a little bit.
I never learned how to read.
I know.
I mean, it's a back and forth, and like the trick with Midoriya is he can shoot from literally anywhere. Because he has like perfect arcs, and he's paranoid. Like, he listens to horoscopes. He carries his lucky item of the day around with him everywhere.
Not just like any horoscope. He listens to I think it's the Oasa horoscope, because Oasa is never wrong.
Either way, that's his gimmick out of game, and in game is that he can shoot from anywhere, and that becomes an issue because he's really hard to block because he shoots like super high up as well. I don't have anything to say until the end of this game, so if you have something to bring up, go for it.
No, we already talked about the pass. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Go for it.
I did have one complaint, and like, I've seen similar stuff in other shows, but I still like to give it crap. One of the things this show tends to do that I don't as much jive with is they'll like introduce a time element and then completely ignore it.
What do you mean?
Like, there was one bit, they showed the timer. They're like, you have to score a buzzer beater. You've got 3 seconds left. Mm-hmm. And they dip into like a 5-minute monologue in that 3 seconds. And it's like, all right.
Okay, so you might not realize, because you're not a big sports guy. But when you I'm sure you've experienced this in other ways, though. Okay. You know how time flows differently sometimes?
You're still not going to be able to talk for 5 minutes in a 3-second span.
Well, first off, it's for like a dramatic effect. It's never.
I know,
it's never
and it's
that,
silly.
It's never that ridiculous. It's not like 5 minutes. It's like maybe 30 seconds.
It's still a pretty solid back and forth in a very explicitly stated 3-second period.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But like,
it's not important. I just wanted to give it crap.
Yeah, I'm just not going to take that crap. Because it's... I'm trying to word this as best I can, right? But like when you have a lot of adrenaline pumping, you can... like time slows down. And I don't know if like yes, they were talking to each other, which I think is more of a dramatic device than them actually speaking with each other, if that makes sense. But like time is just flowing slower for them because they have so much adrenaline. They can like see everything. They not
it's ever present.
But like
yeah, no.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I've heard that complaint before. It's not my favorite complaint, which is why I'm giving you a little bit of shit for it.
Yeah, it's also not a big one because I understand why it's done for dramatic
right.
effect. It's still a bit silly.
Yeah, I just don't agree fully with that, but I don't have the mental capacity to explain why fully. Not right now.
Sometime you should go for it. Just put like a video out as like response to the Epic Wob's heresy and put it on your channel or something.
Heresy?
I don't know. You usually hate any opinion I have, so.
Is heresy the right word though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I've spoken out against an anime thing. I don't know. Don't read into jokes. It doesn't work.
You are definitely like a heretic. Like that's for sure.
What?
I won't even finish Death Note. I will use that joke again and again.
You get mad when I say the same joke 3 times. But you've had that one going for half a year now. I don't understand you.
Yeah, when I say it, it's okay.
So the only game after this that follows the Seirin team is against whatever M&A's school is called. I don't remember. Toho, that's right. In between these two games, we meet Momoi, and we meet the dog. They pick up a dog.
Yeah.
And it's this adorable little dog. And Kagami hates it because he's scared of dogs.
And his name is Tetsuya Nigo. Or Tetsuya number 2. Because he looks just like Kuroko. Whose first name is Tetsuya.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like... Yes, that's a correct statement. I don't have anything good to riff off of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, like...
I thought I did.
Where are you going? I do have a plush of Nigo, though. I do.
That's amazing, and I want to see it after recording.
I'll yeah, I should have it. Yeah, I think I see it up there. Yeah, I see it up there. Yeah, I can show you.
There's also like a fun restaurant sequence. It's the same episode where they pick up the dog. They go to a restaurant.
Yeah, an okonomiyaki
and then
restaurant.
Midorima and his like lackey. He has so like
friend.
how Kuroko is always like following Kagami. There's a guy like that for Midorima as well.
Yeah, it's called Friends.
I don't know what friends are. Okay.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, they have friends. Like, it's not a lackey.
It seemed a little bit like a lackey situation with Midorima. I don't know because he's like, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it's the same way that like I give you shit all the time for like not watching Death Note or something. Whereas and then Midorima's just like he's pulling a fast one on him and making him carry him in a cart. It's the same thing.
Those two are fun, especially because later, like, there's a later sequence, like, very end of the show where Midorima and Kagami are, like, doing a one-on-one. And Midorima's friend has, like, seen it and is hiding in the bush, like, he's gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And then Kuroko is wandering by. And because, again, in this, like, dynamic, I feel like this guy and Kuroko have, like, a similar role to the people who are playing the game.
Oh, yeah.
Pulls Kuroko down and is like, let's observe.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
It's great. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Where was I going with this?
I have no idea. Oh, yeah, we were talking about the Okonomiyaki restaurant. Which, before we get into that scene, I just want to say, if you haven't had Okonomiyaki, highly recommend it.
I don't even know what that is, I'll be honest.
It's what they were eating. You know, like the big, like pancake-looking things that they were eating.
Yeah, it's like a grilled top table, but like...
Yeah, it's like a savory pancake is what it is. But you can get it. You can get it like a lot of different ways. But it's very good. Very good. I've had them a few times.
You know what? Someday, when we can manage to visit Japan again, you'll have to show me a place.
Hell yeah.
I say again like I've been there before. I don't even have a passport.
I've been there before. Just the once.
I want to.
Yeah.
So badly. Someday.
Yeah. Oh,
maybe
for sure.
when the world isn't surrounded by the plague.
Yeah. Hopefully soon.
So it seems in the Amine game, their like entire team is offensive based, like they're all scorers. Amine is also the worst. I hate Amine. I'm just gonna say that.
I love Amine.
No, he's just like, oh, Seiren isn't even worth considering. Nobody can even come close to me. And so he just doesn't show up for half the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a little shit.
He's the worst. Yeah, I hate him.
He's fucking great.
He's awful.
God, he's such a shit.
But the game's difficult. Kagami is like almost able to keep up, but not quite. But then the coach realizes that he's been like pushing himself despite being hurt and has to pull him out. And they do a really interesting visual effect that I wasn't quite counting on, because the scores are starting to look more and more dire, and I'm like, wait, holy crap, is Seiren actually gonna not progress in the championship? This is wild. That doesn't happen. Well, I mean, apparently it does, just not in what I've watched.
Yeah.
And they're like, they bring on this feeling of like it's not going well, because as they continue to play the game, the field of view, the like actual part of the show, starts to shrink. Like the center of the screen shrinks to just like black on the edges, with the actual video getting smaller and smaller and smaller before it ends with, and then we lost.
Yep.
And it shows the final score and the episode ends.
Yep.
I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? In this tournament, they still have a chance to continue, because it's 3 out of the 4 teams in this tournament make it. You know, like they.
I
continue.
thought the game against Amine was when they got disqualified. Was there another one after that?
So, here's the thing with that montage. Before that montage is when they lose to Toho. During that montage is the rest of the games they played.
Oh, yeah, they get demolished by Toho, and it sort of breaks their spirit, and they whiff the rest of the tournament.
And so they are knocked out of the tournament itself. Yeah, which is pretty wild, honestly. It is. I loved how they. It's not like wild that they lost. You know, like I've seen that before, but it's like I liked how they portrayed it. You know, where it's like somebody talking about it, almost like it's like a documentary kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, actually, honestly,
Like,
kind of the
it's like-
same way as how they skipped those 3 games earlier on the show.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. And I liked that consistency throughout the show, and stuff. So,
Because
yeah.
in both cases, these were narrated by the coach, right?
I think so, yeah.
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 Boy, it'd be nice if I could read my own notes.
Well, you know how it
But
is.
basically, the coach is like, y'all need to buck up. It's not over yet because next month the Winter Cup happens. We'll just have to win that one instead.
Yep. Well, she
And
says
so they
it's gonna be a real cold winter if you don't win the next one. Is how she phrases
Yeah.
it.
Because she shifts the rooftop punishment to being after Winter Cup if they whiff it.
Yeah. And then Hyuga, who is like the team captain, he's like, "Oh no, she's actually gonna make us do it this time," because they didn't have to the year before, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and that was great. But then we get
One more info drop.
another character for Seirin.
Yeah.
We get another member, which again is really interesting when I'm kind of comparing it mentally to Haikyuu, because so the new character is their ace. He was injured, and so he's just getting released out of the hospital, and he's back to be able to play. He's a third year, the only third year of the team, and he's the one who started the team in the first
No,
place.
wouldn't he also be a second year? Because there is no third year. The school is new.
I'm almost positive that he said that he was a third year. I mean, he must be a second year, but yeah.
Yeah, because from what I understood is the school is literally only in its second year at all. Like it sounded like the school just started.
I'm almost positive he said he was a third year, though. I don't know. Regardless, he's the guy who started the basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really matters. And he's their
His
ace.
name is Tepe, by the way.
His name is Tepe. He's their ace. And here's the thing, right? This is the thing that I thought was kind of funny when I was comparing it to Haikyuu in my head as I was watching it. So a bit of spoilers for season 1 of Haikyuu. It's not really like that much, but they don't have their ace at the beginning of the show, and we don't know they're missing their ace until Nishinoya mentions it, and then we find out that the ace it is different circumstances, so I won't go into the circumstances why, but Asahi is their ace, and he's also a tall, brown-haired guy, but Asahi has long hair, so he's cooler. I love Asahi. But it was interesting seeing how this all worked, because a lot of the structure of this season is very similar with season 1 of Haikyuu. Without spoiling anything, like it's very similar. But they each still have their own identity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when I was like, oh, I remember when this happened in Haikyuu, like this similar thing. Like, Haikyuu is obviously about volleyball, this is about basketball, but I mean, like, a lot of sports anime are using the sport just like as a way to tell the story. Like, it doesn't have to be that sport specifically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's some that like it wouldn't really work with another sport. Like, I don't think Ashita no Joe could work without boxing, but I digress. There's just a lot of similarities, but still, I think that Kuroko is able to, keep its identity. And Kuroko is also came out before Haikyuu, in Shonen Jump. They're both published in the same magazine. They both had the same studio behind them. Which is pretty interesting, I think. But even so, neither of them feel like they're ripping off each other. They're just kind of using the same ideas in different ways. I hope I'm making sense, not just rambling here.
I mean, I'm kind of lost, but I figured that was just me.
Okay. I could very well just be rambling. So, pick it up somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah, so unfortunately, because at this point they're already out of the tournament, but we do see more of the Inter-High tournament. By the end of Season 1, we have not seen Teppei play. We don't know what he's like in-game. He did a little bit of a one-on-one with Kagami, because Kagami has become their new ace.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I want to see which position we're in. But he doesn't actually do much playing at this point. Instead, he sort of hangs out with the coach and starts pulling strings, kind of, to try to get... His big thing is he wants Kuroko to expand his capabilities. Because at this point, Kuroko cannot do anything other than pass.
Yeah.
He can pass exceptionally well, but he's useless anywhere else.
So it's almost like they're playing with, like, 4.5 people.
Yeah.
Because they only have 4 people that can score points on the court at a time, instead of the 5 that are on, like, every other team.
They go to the summer camp. I've already talked about that. The only really important thing there, in my opinion, is the food scene. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah.
And the Midorima versus Kagami, which I also already talked about. And we figure out that Kagami's not doing his power correctly because he's right-handed. He tends to jump with his
left,
whichever foot.
He jumps with his left foot.
But he can jump higher if he uses the other one.
Yep.
And so he's got to, like, retrain.
Yeah.
And then we watch the Toho versus Keiju game.
Kaijo.
Which we've already mostly talked about.
Yes. We have talked about that mostly, yeah.
Yeah, and it gets kind of pressured for a little bit. Aomine is, like, in dire straits because he gets 4 fouls, and if you foul someone a 5th time, you get removed from the game.
Yep. That's how it goes.
But that does not stop him from playing as aggressively as he already was, which normally a player would, like, play a lot more cautious at that point because they don't want to get kicked out, because Kagami got to that point earlier and he had to dial back his play so he doesn't get removed.
Yeah.
But Aomine is still just, like, going hard because, like, he can and he needs to win.
Yeah. He needs to prove to himself that he is still the best.
And Kisei is able to match Aomine. Like, Aomine will score a specific way, and then Kisei will, like, immediately do the same thing and get those points right back.
Yep.
But that doesn't help them catch up.
Right.
And so Aomine still remains undefeated by the end of Season 1.
But they are still in single-digit territory, which, like...
It's really close.
The thing is, you know, with a lot of sports, the score really matters. You know, like the difference in score. You know, like if we're talking soccer, one goal, like I believe it's like a 3-goal game is like a high-scoring game. You know, like 6 goals is insane from what I understand. Soccer is like my weakest one of the big 4.
The most I know about soccer is I love the movie Shaolin Soccer, and that's all the info I've got on it.
That is a good movie. That is a very good movie.
It's just such a good movie.
So we've got that, and then like with football, being up by 2 or 3 touchdowns, so that's going to be about generally 21 points with the extra point. So anywhere between 18 and 21, that's like a massive lead. And then I have no idea about score in baseball.
I don't think baseball was score. I think it was, like, at least when I played, like, Little League. I don't know what the freaking big leagues is.
Yeah.
But I remember back when I played, there was, like, some sort of clause that, like, you're allowed to... There's some sort of rule if you go, like, 3 innings without getting something or something. I don't remember. I may be making this up as I go. It's been so
Little
long.
League thing.
Probably is. Most likely is.
I don't think baseball is a very high-scoring sport either. Whereas with basketball, if you like 70 points, I believe is like the average for a score. Like it's like a very high-scoring game because of the nature of it. You're always shooting, you know, into the goal. It's not like extremely difficult to make like with soccer. You don't have this like massive field. The court isn't like, the court's big, you know, but it's not like huge. You know what I mean? Like a football field, like a baseball diamond, the soccer field or anything. Or is it the soccer? Is it a soccer pitch?
I don't know.
I think that might be what it's called. Or like a
soccer
hockey
space.
I mean, like a hockey rink is smaller, but it's a lot harder to score in hockey too. You know, for just a lot of reasons. But basketball gets pretty high. But even then, 100 points is ridiculous in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look back at, I don't know if you watched The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary.
No.
I would highly recommend it. Like even if you don't care about sports, highly recommend it. It's just a really well-made documentary. But like they had games. One of the greatest players of all time, if not the greatest of all time, they had games where they didn't break 100 points. You know, like that team. Yeah. That team was just insane.
Whereas a lot of games in Kuroko will have points up in the like 130, 140 range. Especially
with Aomine's team. I don't think Aomine's team had a score below 100.
I don't think so either.
And in the final score of that game between Kisei and Aomine, I'm almost positive it was 98 to 110. Because I remember...
That sounds right.
Aomine made the last 2 points, which got them... And I'm pretty sure it got them out of the double-digit... Or out of the single-digit score gap and game to a one-digit... Or to a two-digit score gap. The reason I say all that is because a single-digit score gap in basketball is significant. Or not significant, I mean insignificant. Like, you can catch that up fairly easily, you know.
Yeah, because they have a line that, like, if they make this layup, they're just 2 3-point shots away from winning, and that'll boost their morale.
Right, exactly. And then... I mean, yeah, it's so in under a minute, it's not unreasonable to think that you could get, like, 9 points. Which I liked about the writing, you know, here. I don't know. I've been rambling a little bit about sports.
You've done that a lot today.
I do look, I really like sports, okay? I do.
Yeah, whereas I am not a sports guy.
I'm the sportsman, if you will. No, so, don't call me that.
Unless there's something worth going back to mention, does that put us to final thoughts? Is this the point where I finish my drink and then we give our thinking?
We got one thing to do first. We have 2 things to do, actually. We have 2 things to do first. 1, who is the best boy in Kuroko no Basket?
Mitsube, because he takes care of his massive family and is just generally a good, reliable egg, and I like him.
Okay, I like the pick. I like that pick. It's okay, and I have a thing to say after this. Okay, I want to know, before I give mine, who do you think is my favorite?
Who has pink hair?
There's no boy in this season that has pink hair. But also, Akashi is not my favorite, even then. I'll tell you who my overall favorite is, but out of this season's characters, who is my favorite one?
I would like to give a follow-up shout-out to Shinji Kogane, the Catman.
Yeah.
Because he's also kind of fun. Because there's one episode where you get, like... I mentioned it in passing, where you get, like, a quick shot into each of their, like, personal... As they're, like, getting up in the morning. Mm-hmm. Or, like, getting ready for the game or whatever. And Kogane is, like, asleep, and his sister or mom, I'm not sure who she was.
I'm pretty sure it's his
like,
sister.
Literally kicks him out of bed. Mitsube is, like... cooking dinner for his like 15 siblings, stuff like that.
Breakfast,
whatever.
Yeah.
And it goes through. It's so good.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that? Your choice. That's this is difficult because I know what the like meme answers are for you.
What's the meme answer?
Well, it'd be whoever has pink hair.
Oh well, yeah. But there is no meme answer.
Yeah, no, that's the problem.
Uh-huh.
Part of me wants to say the frickin' apologetic mushroom, but you'd probably choose a character with more development. I'm gonna say Kisei.
Okay, honestly, both of those are good choices.
But the way you frame that means I'm wrong.
You're wrong. Neither of them are my favorite. I do really like both of those, though.
I'm not spending any more time on it, though. What you got, bud?
No. I wasn't going to make you guess anymore. No. My favorite character, actually, it's technically a tie, so you had a double chance of getting this one. Kuroko and Izuki. Those are my two favorite
Izuki
characters.
is like the only one that I remember nothing about.
He's
Is he
the
the one that
pun
makes
guy.
puns?
Yeah.
I would like that if I understood the puns.
But like, the thing is, I really like him because of, one, he makes dumb jokes all the time, right?
Which is like really good. I will grant you
Yeah.
that.
But like, then when he was getting ready, back to that same sequence, because they showed everybody getting ready for school and like the game, right? He was eating breakfast, and then his mom shows up and makes some stupid pun, and then he acts like he's going to be upset about it, and then he makes a stupid pun right back at her. It was amazing. It was so good.
Oh,
but also,
I don't remember that. I need to find it again.
Yeah, you need to go see that again. But also, he's such a dependable member of the team that I really like. I really like that about him. And the same with Kuroko. I mean, I can see with Kuroko is very similar to Kenma, who is my favorite character in Haikyuu.
No, I get the idea you like Haikyuu.
Just a little bit. But this is one of the things. This leads into what I kind of wanted to mention about this bit. Because when it comes to sports anime, I always end up having a team I'm rooting for, right?
Okay.
And a lot of the time, for whatever reason, it's not the main team.
Okay.
So with Haikyuu, I'm always rooting for Nekoma, who is not the main team at all. But they have Kenma, who is my favorite character. And I wish I could think of other things right now, but I can't be bothered. But I don't know. I generally don't root for the main team, but Kuroko's basketball, Kuroko no Basket, Kuroko is such a compelling character for me that I do really want him to succeed.
I would also say just about every person on the main team is some degree of good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, for sure. But I would say that for everybody, honestly. Even what's his name, Imayoshi from Toho, the guy with the glasses. From Anime's team.
The one that speaks for the team a lot.
Yeah, he is also a little shit, but he's great.
He's at least fun about it, whereas Amine is just irritating in my opinion.
See, I don't agree with you there, but
there's one other character that really gets on my nerves, but he's from the freaking martial arts episode that no one cared about.
Yeah. But my overall favorite character though of Kuroko no Basket, I said I would mention this. It's got to be Murasaki Bara. He's great. You'll see. You'll find out why he's my favorite.
I have a feeling I will really like him once he starts doing things. Just the little bit of vibe I've got from him, I think I'm gonna like, because he had a bit of a role in the OVA that I watched.
Yeah, and I swear he's not my favorite just because he has the longest hair.
Right.
All right, but we got one more thing to do before final thoughts. And this is going to be an easy one. Who's the best girl between Ida and Momoi?
I was wondering if you're going to ask that, because with you, that's not even a question. Unless you're breaking literally every single trend you've ever had up until this point, it's Momoi.
Yeah, obviously mine's fucking Momoi. She has long pink hair. She's super energetic and fun. Yeah, obviously. I'm going to guess that yours is Ida, based on all of your past trends. Really? You prefer Momoi?
I mean, there's not really much to pick from there. Neither of them are,
I'm asking who you prefer out of the two. Is the question.
I mean, I like Momoe's like I already mentioned the data thing is like super cool. I like when characters do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say anything about like one design being cuter because they both look great.
Momoe's is cuter. I'll say it.
You just like long big hair.
Hey, a man likes what he likes.
I mean, fair, but like, gotta broaden your horizons, man.
Why do I need to?
Acknowledge other options.
There's all of these beautiful, long, pink-haired women in anime. What's the point?
Momoe also seems like significantly less troublemaking, although she could be trouble.
Less troublemaking. She is way more troublemaking.
She's not.
She just shows up at the other team's practice.
Yeah, but she also doesn't poison her own team with curry stacked with protein
They're
powder
not being poisoned.
and freaking.
They're not being poisoned. Let's make
You can
one
barely
thing.
eat it. She also served freaking whole lemons. Wait, no, Momoe did that too.
Yeah, Momoe did the same.
Yeah, they both did
Momoe
that.
can't cook either. She actually would poison them though, because she can't cook that much. At least Ida's just giving them supplements.
Well, no, Ida also like really screwed up though. Like she had freaking like whole carrots in the,
Yeah,
in
but
the
it's still
curry.
edible. It's still edible.
I don't know, but that's part of why I also like Mitobe is because whenever Ida like fails
Yeah.
to cook for the team, they're like, Mitobe, bail us out.
Wait, so are you telling me that you like Momoe better than Ida?
I don't think it's worth picking in this case, but sure, yes.
Against all previous... Man, I was sure that you would find Momoe annoying as hell.
No, she was fine.
Man, that's crazy. That's wild. I don't know why, but like that's just against.
Yeah, I don't
every
know why
other,
you're so
that's
blown away by
against
this.
Every other convention that you've had.
Not really?
Yeah, she's chaotic as hell. You never go for the
So
chaotic
are both
ones.
options.
Ida is no. Ida's not chaotic.
I mean, either way, like I said, it's not really a competition here. They're both really good. It's not when there's two options.
That's when the best competition happens.
They're both fine. Neither of them are outstanding.
There it is, folks. You heard it from him here. He doesn't like the girls in Kuroko no Basket. I'm kidding, obviously.
They're okay.
Momoe's great. Momoe's great.
I think the only thing that like really bothers me about Momoe, and this was like a one-off thing, is they did the anime thing, where when she first meets the coach, instead of them like disagreeing over their style of leading the team, no, they go for the she has bigger boobs, so she's my rival. It's like, why is that always the riff you've got to go on? Come on.
Well, it's
I know it's an anime thing, but still.
It was also there for like half a second and also at the pool. So it's like blatantly obvious. And also Momoe is trying to like insinuate to Kuroko that she's better because she's in love with him.
And I do like that Kuroko's just kind of like, hey, cool, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
He is not swayed.
Like, she introduces herself as Kuroko's girlfriend. Like it semi makes sense in this context, and also it never comes up again. So
yeah, I'm glad they don't linger on it, but still, I'm like, really, you had to do the thing.
it's a funny quip though, because especially when she's like listing off like, oh yeah, I know all of you guys. Like, you're this person, you're that, and you're barely B cup Ida. Like, it's funny. It is. Because she's giving everybody a demeaning nickname. Also, she's not a coach. She's not a coach.
I didn't say she was a coach.
Yeah, but she doesn't lead the team. She supports them, whereas Ida leads the team.
Okay, she doesn't lead, but she gives like information and suggestions. Close enough. You get the point.
It's different things, but all right. Well, fine. I guess I'll go first on my final thoughts. I mean, yeah, it didn't really change much from when I initially watched the show. The characters are fun. The games are exciting. The animation is pretty solid. I like the character designs. It's just a fun sports anime. I don't know, like, I don't really have much else to add, honestly. Like, it's not my favorite sports anime, but it's very good. It's very good. I mean, I gave it an 8 out of 10 initially. That's where it's staying. Like, it's not going up much higher than that. But like, I mean, I know it's like a thing with me, right? Or I watch the show all in one day, right? That's the whole thing that I do. But it wasn't like I was never forcing myself to watch the show, which I always appreciate. It was always like, oh yeah, no, like, yeah, I was limited on time, but I was still enjoying the time watching it, you know.
Yeah.
Also, OP1 is amazing. OP2 kind of sucks. Don't really remember the EDs that much. OP1, really like that. Really like that OP a lot. So, yep, that's my final thoughts.
Surprised you didn't have like stronger opinions on it, given how much you had to say. Like when I brought it up and like during the whatever, I kind of expected some sort of glowing review, regardless of the score.
Well, I like it more than the other thing that you brought up.
So, anyone who has watched much of our show know that if there's a specific number rating you can guess that I'll give a show, and odds are you'll be correct. You'd be right again today.
Yeah.
This show was good. I enjoyed watching it. Mm-hmm. I will probably continue to watch it, because if I've already finished one season, and again, I said I'd watch it 6 years ago, I'll probably go ahead and finish the other two. It's nothing mind-blowing. It didn't knock my socks off like Prince of Stride did. This is a good show, good characters. I'm enjoying the dynamic, and I like where they're going with it, and it even caught me off guard a few times. It's not something absolutely astounding. It's just good. I'm putting it at a 7. I like it.
That's about where I thought you would put this show. Yeah.
It is not average enough to get an average score. It is enjoyable, but it's not like top tier enjoyable for me.
But I will say, though, I was a little scared at the beginning of the episode when you said, yeah, we'll get to those second seasons later. I was like, oh no, is he not going to finish it?
Well, now that you've said that, I'm not going to.
Yeah, you already have a 6-year obligation to your brother friend.
Yeah, I kind of have to.
Yeah. But yeah. All right, well, do you want me to do our shill segment, and then I'll talk about what we're doing next week? Or do you want to shill while I go get some props for I could talk about what we're watching next week?
Yeah, I'll do a quick shill segment. It'll be a lot quicker than you do it, though.
Oh, God, don't brag.
So, if you like what you're watching here, you can find us on either YouTube or Anchor. Anchor being also distributive to all the other podcast platforms, so you can either listen to us on the go or settle down in on YouTube. If you wish to support us aside from that, we do get a little bit of kickback if you listen through Anchor or other audio-only platforms. We also have a support link on the Anchor page. You do not have to do that if you do not want to or can't afford to. We're literally doing this for funsies. If you want your name shouted out for giving a donation, if you give a donation and want us to actually recognize that, DM one of us and let us know, and we'll give you a shout out if you wish. Other than that, follow Seaweed's YouTube channel. He makes anime videos, and both of us are on Twitter. So, check us out there. He does a lot of anime content on Twitter. I do some anime content, and I'm also the one who usually posts updates about A Shot of Weeb.
Yeah, you're the update man.
So, did you find it?
Oh, I got it.
I got it. This won't help our audio viewers. I apologize.
No, you should go watch the video segment for that though. That was great. I almost fell over multiple times.
Yeah, like check out literally just this like 3 minutes on our YouTube channel. A shot of Weeb on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. So next week is a group choice, but
the rules are a show that neither of us have seen before.
Something neither of us have seen, which might surprise you after when I'm about to talk about it, if you know me at all. But because the last group choice was mainly Wobb's pick, like it's something we both agree on, but like we'll kind of go back and forth on like who suggested it. Who suggested it and stuff like that. This was my suggestion, and we're finally getting around to it. I've been meaning to watch this for
I'm dreading it.
Like 8 months now. I'm very excited. So this is not the Blu-ray of that specific show. These are Blu-rays of the franchise.
Oh, I thought you were getting the stuffed dog.
So this is Ultraman. These are all my Ultraman Blu-rays. It's not the... Oh, goodness, it's all falling. It's not everything that's released. I'm missing Taro and Jeed. But, this is a tokusatsu show. Oh, it's all falling everywhere. Okay, this is a tokusatsu show. So that's things like Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, that kind of thing. Think about that. That's Ultraman. But we're watching the anime next time. So that should be a lot of fun. And get ready because I've seen... let me see here. Let me... out of what I just held up, there's only 2 series that I haven't seen that I own, though I have started one of those. Oh, those are all upside down. See if you can read those? Well enough. Whatever.
We can't.
Whatever, bro. I've seen quite a bit of Ultraman now. So it will be, and I've read some of the manga that this is adapting. So I am very excited for it. If you can't tell, based on
you didn't specify which one it is.
It's Ultraman 2019. It's the only anime Ultraman. We're not watching the Hanna-Barbera movie. Oh, actually, no. There is one other anime Ultraman, but I kind of figured it's called The Ultraman, not just Ultraman, and it's also like 49 episodes and came out in the 80s, I believe, maybe 70s. I can check real quick.
As a follow-up, in case you haven't already guessed, I have seen
79.
No Ultraman.
1979.
And I am also, frankly, not big on that kind of show.
Oh, I'm very excited. This is a very different type of show, though.
The only Ultraman-esque show I've seen, I know it's a step aside.
Yeah.
I got snowed in on spring break a few years ago and watched all but like 2 episodes of Power Rangers in space.
Yeah.
That's the closest I've ever been to Ultraman.
Oh, man. Well, this will be your entry into the drug that is Ultraman, because trust me, oh boy, it's great. Also, if you watch the anime with us, like with our episodes, and you like what you see, go check out the show. You can watch it for like the other Ultraman series. You can watch it for free on Tubi. They're all basically standalone. You don't have to watch really in any order.
You're shilling for people unaffiliated.
That's right. I'm going to shill for Mill Creek because they're doing the Lord's work out here, baby. I love Ultraman so much. All right. But I think that'll do it. So this is probably going to be the energy I bring the entire time next week.
Yeah, if you want to hear Seaweed absolutely gush about something while I sit quietly, tune in next week.
Look, it's either going to be me gushing about it or I'm going to absolutely hate it. So either way, it should be a fun time for you, the viewer. Hopefully. As we hope all our episodes
and hopefully it'll actually be next week. We apologize for the break we wound up having to take between these.
Yeah, we just
things got a little bit awkward for a little bit.
Yeah, we just need some time off. We're back though, raring to go.
Back and kicking in full speed gear time.
We made it. Okay.
Oh, jeez, I basically have to sit through 2 weeks of your choice now. Oh. Because you get to pick whatever's after Ultraman as well.
Let's go, baby.
I'm not ready for this.
All right, well, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of A Shot of Weeb, episode 25, Kuroko no Basket. We'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you next week, yeah. That was some outro energy. Holy crap.
Yeah. Hey, Ultraman got me hyped, baby. Ultraman got me hyped.